You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide on this special Memorial Day edition, where we're looking at former Fox News hosts who apparently have beat feet and left the country. Huh. Ocean Point. Where have I heard that name before exactly? Outrageous. That's right. Anytime they say it's outrageous. You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Support the show if you feel like doing it. If you don't, that's okay too. But thank the people who do, as I often do, and I show the credits, and our patrons, especially patreon.com/HalSparks. Thank you guys. If you can contribute and you want to become a patron or a member on YouTube or subscribe on Twitch, please do so. If you would sweat it at all, don't do it. If it gives you any anxiety, if you filling out the putting in credit card information in a website or anything gives you any heebie-jeebies, just don't do it. Just show up at a show and say hi. Something like that. Come to a live show or something. But if you can support, please do so. Now, I thought Lauren Boebert was the single dumbest person when it came to the response to the shooting in Texas. Apparently not. Dems ramp up attacks on NRA. No, I would say the NRA unleashes attacks on children all the time, and it's a useless organization for gun owners, is basically a lobbying arm of the gun manufacturing industry and a bunch of macho assholes. And so, yeah.
Tone just 3 days after that horrific massacre.
For the record, no. All of my attacks that I ramped up on the NRA ramped up from a shooting 3 years ago.
In Uvalde,
just pick one.
Texas, that left 19 children and 3 adults dead. But make no mistake here. Don't mistake somberness for a lack of resolve.
Don't mistake somberness for a lack of resolve. Huh?
Life member of the NRA and someone who worked with this organization for years, I can tell you, we all here on this convention floor have a sincere commitment to keep our kids and society safe.
Bullshit.
That's what the...
No, you don't. You want them to be caught in the crossfire of your war for a bigger penis.
Media cannot seem to fathom.
The leadership of the National Rifle Association has proven time and time again that they are contributing to the problem of gun violence, not trying to solve it.
The purpose of the NRA appears to be, yes, selling lots of guns, but also living like kings.
Putting yourself in the shoes of these parents instead of in the arms of the NRA might let you wriggle free from the vice-like grip of the NRA.
It is awful to watch that.
Yeah, it's almost as awful as watching the shootings, I'm sure, for you, Stank. It must feel like, I don't know, a parent at a funeral must feel. I understand your pain. Watching them slaughter an organization that meets every so often to celebrate a constitutionally protected amendment that isn't under attack.
You just saw right there is why there is an overwhelming feeling inside this Houston Convention Center
that more people need to be shot.
That the 5 million members of the NRA are...
A lot of people join because you get like money, if you go to a range, some of them will you can join the NRA with this thing and you'll get half your ammunition off and that kind of stuff like that. They puff their numbers up that way.
Under attack. You just saw it.
Yeah, they're under attack. Not like kids are. But, they're kind of under attack. They're under attack kind of like they feel like they're all in school and they're all 8. Jesus Christ. They feel under attack. You can't bring it. Here's the thing, fucko. Stank. You can't bring a gun into the NRA convention. I guarantee that feeling that they are under attack is all inside.
So now let's be clear. That horrific murder spree in Uvalde is not the fault of anyone in this room. And
no, of course not. They didn't have anything to do with it. They didn't build up the culture of gun worship. They didn't, infantilize.
It is certainly not the fault of NRA leadership, but
No, mostly is. I'm going to put it right at their feet. Yeah. Yeah, it mostly is. Because they treat guns like toys or as a solution to your emotional problems.
That is not what the left would have you believe. Right now in America, all our rights are under attack.
No, they aren't. Your rights are not under attack. As a matter of fact, the feeling that your rights are under attack is one of the reasons that a lot of these assholes open fire.
The NRA is the front lines in protecting those rights, and not just
No, they're not.
the Second Amendment either, but the first two. And because this organization, the one you see behind me, is so powerful, it always has the anti-gun crowd trying to destroy it and make...
No, they just show up days after there's a shooting all the time. And curiously, they seem to be completely blind to the hateful impact that they have, and blind to the cruelty of their showing up in these situations.
No mistake, the NRA's power doesn't come from the lobbyists in Washington, the
Yeah, it does.
suits there, or the executives at headquarters. It comes from the unwavering, indomitable fighting spirit of its members.
Yeah, they don't fight, they shoot. Dude's got a kid there, and his shirt says the pew pew. Like pew 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 pew, like laser guns. Yeah, these are people taking guns seriously.
It's why they came here, to speak the truth.
Yeah, you could buy. Look at all this gear, the kind of stuff you'd wear to school. I mean, this is the new fashion. This is the kind of stuff the NRA is for. The National Rifle Association, motherfucker. This isn't like about military action. This is National Rifle Association stuff. Deer can't see orange. Why the fuck is any of this camo necessary?
Not from the media, but from patriots who love the Second Amendment.
No, they don't. I call bullshit. They don't love the Second Amendment. They love half of it. They love the shall not be infringed part. They don't give a rat fuck about the well-regulated militia part. And that came first. They wrote, the founding fathers in the phrasing said the right to bear arms shall not be infringed because a well-regulated militia is important to a free people. They did it the other way around. A well-regulated militia was the first thing they wrote down in the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia. List of who's got guns and where and how much ammo and when they got it and how long they've had it. Well-regulated, fucko. None of this, I'm a Second Amendment purist. No, you're not. If you were, you wouldn't breeze past the well-regulated part.
We here today
are here because we've been bullied all our young lives, and we'd like to take it out on a stranger with a firearm from far away.
And millions more like us are patriotic Americans.
That's why I'm in front of a wall of blood. Jesus Christ. He looks like he's standing in front of the elevator in The Shining.
The heart and soul of this country. We love our nation.
We just don't care. You got to lose a few Americans on the regular just in case you might need to shoot a congressman at some point, according to these assholes.
We love our children.
Yeah, you just don't give a shit about anybody else's.
Grandchildren.
And
friends.
Our friends. We love our friends. If you're a stranger, I don't really give a shit if you get killed, apparently.
And family. And that's why we will always value, cherish, and protect our fundamental human right to defend ourselves, our communities, and our loved ones.
Which none of that would be harmed by you registering your guns and how much ammo you have, and limiting the amount of ammo that people can have. Because there's no fucking way you're having a long-form shootout unless you're a criminal. You don't need over 100 rounds of fucking ammunition at any given time if you're not actively involved in a cartel.
We, the NRA,
the National Rifle Abortionists,
will never ever stop fighting for the right
to kill a stranger and carry around an abortion machine in front of our themselves in lieu of a penis.
Of the innocent and the law-abiding to defend themselves.
Yeah, but you won't do anything to defend them against being at the impact of a lunatic who can buy whatever fucking gun they want and not register it and not register how much ammo they have, and to open carry it around areas so that the cops can't even go, hey buddy, why do you feel the fucking need, since we're not currently involved in an international altercation with an invading force, to walk around with a fucking M16 around your neck?
As Texans and as Americans, we grieve and mourn with these families.
No, you don't.
The loss of their child is a tragedy that no parent should ever have to endure.
Well, then, if they shouldn't have to endure it, then get rid of all the guns then. All of them. You just said it. They shouldn't have to endure it. But they do. They have to endure it. Because you guys want playthings.
We will bind up the wounds of the people of Uvalde.
And wait for the next shooting.
The test of time has proven that this greatest experiment in human history, called the United States of America, is truly the only government that guarantees an individual's liberties and freedoms.
No, they just have slight variations between, like Sweden, UK, Norway, Australia. There's a myriad of other countries now that have taken what we've done and built upon it, and don't feel the need for everybody there to have a fucking AR-15.
So this is why I broadcast from this convention.
Because you want to make a mockery of the funerals of children, stank.
Floor. Because it restores my faith in America. As you look at the faces.
Excuse me, I didn't lose my faith in America, fucko. I have no faith in you and anybody in the NRA to actually do anything good for this country at all. It's a sales force.
Here, as you talk to the people here, you will find they are what is great about America. Everyone here loves this country.
Citation needed.
Everyone here wants your rights protected.
Yeah, unless that right is the ability to order something to go in a Starbucks without having to look over your shoulder to see if some nutcase has decided to go from lawful gun owner to unhinged active shooter in an instant.
No matter what side of the aisle you may fall on, all of them, all of our rights. The people in this room aren't dangerous.
How do you know? Well, he's right. The people in that room aren't dangerous because they're unarmed. None of these people would shoot anybody right now because they had to leave their guns in the car because it's the NRA and they're not allowed to bring them in here.
They aren't violent.
Well, because they'd have to get in a fist fight and they'd get their ass kicked.
In fact, their quest for safety and security runs through their veins, and we are torn up about what happened.
Yeah, you know what also runs through people's veins? The lead and shrapnel from these assholes' bullets whenever they decide to snap and decide, the tyranny of the government is too much. I gotta go shoot up a 7-Eleven.
In Texas. They may be the most misunderstood group of Americans we have ever seen, the people that walk this floor.
Yes, it is. I do not understand how you are you are Second Amendment absolutist first, and you will leave your gun in the car, and the NRA can tell you no guns allowed. What is that? I don't understand it. It seems silly. At
no fault of their own. The media and their socialist overlords want you to misunderstand the members of the NRA. The media wants you to hate them.
Oh, do they? The media wants me to hate them? Media. It's the media that makes me hate them, not the words coming out of your mouth and the dipshittery coming from people like Wayne LaPierre.
The media wants you to criticize them and ostracize them from.
Sorry, nobody gets. It's America, buddy. Nobody gets to dodge criticism.
Society. But here is where the real underestimation comes in. The people in this room that I talk to on a regular basis.
The unarmed people at a gun convention
will never back down.
Yes, they will. They walked up to the door of this place with a gun and they said, you can't bring that in there. I went, oh, okay. And they put it in their trunk.
And their greatest weapon isn't their sidearm or their AR-15. It's the truth and the Constitution.
Well, I tell you what, If they want to open carry the truth in the Constitution, I'm all fucking for it. I'm not worried about some asshole whacking me with a copy of the Constitution when I'm trying to go grocery shopping.
And they use both to wage war in defense of freedom.
No, they don't. They don't wage war with the truth. Get the fuck out of here, you bloviating asshole.
Joining me now is North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. Mark, welcome to the program, Governor.
Good to be here again, as always.
I'm glad that I'm not armed. Nobody's armed, so I can just walk around freely. The whole place is, it's crazy how few guns there are, but everybody's got a shirt with a gun on it.
I've seen you here a lot of years, and it's good to see you here. This is a more somber tone, but it's important you're here, and thank you for coming. Some cancellations. What do you think?
I don't know why they wouldn't want to come here and sing. You know, wow, what makes today different than yesterday as far as singing songs about the day the music died just because 19 children were murdered?
I guess people have their own motivations for doing things, but so do I. You know, when things like this happen, you know, I said this back in 2018, when things like this happen, we know what the right thing to do is.
Yes, the right thing to do is tighten all the rules around guns and mental illness, guns and registration, ammo capacity, magazine capacity, traceability of guns.
We've got the right formula. We've got the winning formula.
You got the winning formula. The winning formula, of course, is to scare the fuck out of people so they buy more guns.
Been preaching it ever since Columbine, and there are lots of places that refuse to adhere to what we're saying. But the bottom line is this.
You mean Texas?
You know, law-abiding citizens should not back down and should not give up their constitutional rights. That's the bottom line. That's why I'm here.
We watched earlier guys like Chuck Schumer, others that vilify the NRA. They think the members out here are toxic. Mm-hmm. I don't think they've ever talked to any of these members. There's nothing toxic about it.
Yeah, they are. A lot of the Republicans, by the way, that they've sat on committees with and the like are members of the fucking NRA.
About this room?
Absolutely. You know, one of the most disgusting.
No, here's the most toxic thing about it, is that these assholes are walking around amongst weapons of war, flak jackets, bulletproof vests, all this kind of stuff, like it's a fucking Ross or a Old Navy, with an inserious view of incredibly serious things. Again, the best thing that can happen with a gun, it happens on the worst day of your life. At best, guns are a necessary evil and should be treated as such. Right. Meanwhile, they're wandering around Guns R Us with their fucking fanny pack on. Hey, can I get one of them silencers?
Disgusting things about.
I got some feral pigs I need to sneak up on.
About this entire event, other than the fact that this madman took these children's lives, is how a lot of our elected officials have used it for their own political advantages. You know, they've given about.
Well, why would there be a political advantage? What's the political advantage? What is allegedly? Or maybe they're just trying to solve a fucking problem. If this madman could take a gun and he was a law-abiding gun owner until he wasn't, maybe there should be a difference, a variation in the rules about who can buy a fucking gun and when.
About 5 to 10 words of condolences to the family members and the grieving nation, but then they've got 150, 200, 300 words of venom for their political enemies.
No, for the gun lobby and the people who are trying to sell death over the counter all across the country. They're not just their political enemies. They have an ethical and moral difference between themselves and these people. And the reason why there's only so much you could say to the parents of a dead child. I can imagine it would be incredibly difficult, but you'd have a lot of words about the people who passed out these weapons to try and keep it from happening again.
For them, it's not about the tragedy that happened. It's about how they can.
It's about preventing the next one. And then if not that one, then the one after that. Or talking about the one before that. Or the one before the last one. Or the one before the last one.
Leverage this for their elections. And it's very sad to see grown men do this.
There's a lot of women doing it too. And there's a lot of young people also who are not grown talking about this because they don't want to die at the hands of some insta-tyrant. Just add AR-15.
Men and women, Robin.
Why do you think it is they come after the NRA as hard as they do?
Because the NRA is a bunch of assholes who think guns are playthings and hide behind the Constitution, using it as a shield to basically just sell arms to average citizens and fear.
It's the easy target. This is
Why is it an easy target? It should be a very difficult target. It's an easy target. It's not an easy target while you're in there. No one has a gun.
easy target. They come after the NRA and claim that the NRA is responsible for these shootings, but I can tell you this right now, and I'm not shy about saying this. The NRA has never advocated for the death of anyone.
They have also done nothing to mitigate the death of anyone at the end of a barrel.
Someone told me one time,
it's what we would call wanton disregard for human life.
In the NRA, you have blood on your hands. And
right.
I looked at him, I said, I think you mispronounced Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is an organization that actually has blood on its hand.
Wow.
It advocates for the death of children in the womb.
We wait till they're good and born before we let them get their brains blown out.
This organization fights for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
No. It most definitely does not fight for life.
And holding on to those principles. We have advocated for things like School Shield and programs that will increase school safety.
How, by the way, increasing school safety by having armed guards. That school, Uvalde had an armed guard. They had an armed officer on campus.
We advocate for teaching young children about gun safety and respecting guns.
Yeah, that's not the problem. None of the kids that were shot lacked a respect for how guns are, like the safety of guns.
We do not advocate these shootings, and from what I've seen, none of our members have been responsible for these things.
Yeah, NRA membership is a secret. They don't list whether you're a member. You can tell people yourself. But let's see. Yeah, that's why. He can say that without feeling like any pressure because they don't publish a list of members.
When I say the left is all talk, and from
all talk. Well, we certainly don't shoot anyone. That's
the right and gun activists, the NRA.
By the way, Sanders supporter baseball shooting aside.
Groups too. It's actionable items, whether you're training people to how to respond to an active shooter, whether you're training people with policy.
And by training people to respond to an active shooter, he means 7-year-olds.
Technology, whatever else it might be.
Yeah, technology, smart guns, tracking of ammunition.
Protect schools. These are actionable items. The left has none.
No, there's Biden just banned ghost guns, for example.
That's exactly right. They give all this big talk about, we're going to shut down the NRA. We're going to take away your AR-15s, your AK-47s. Okay.
Well, yeah, your AK-47s, we did that.
Okay, let's say, for example, you do take away my AR-15, which has never been used in a crime. My neighbors, you take those away. Who's still going to have the guns?
Yeah, criminals don't, by and large, in general, have AR-15s. And people who have handguns can engage somebody with an AR-15 or call the fucking police. We're not in a situation, by the way, where vast numbers of AR-15s are out on the street being used by gang members. Most of those are handguns.
Very same people who commit these actions are still going to have those guns hidden, and they're still going to kill people with them.
No, they're not. A lot of the folks who do the mass shootings bought them legally. Should not have, because there should have been red flags around them. Or should have been, it should have red flagged them when they were buying a shit ton of ammunition and storing it.
They're not attacking the solution at the root.
We're trying, but Republicans run interference.
When 9/11 happened, we didn't ban airplanes.
Yes, we did. We grounded airplanes. Fucking hell. We grounded airplanes. We sealed the cockpit door. You can't even go to the fucking pisser if the captain is using it and stand in line and wait for it. You cannot queue for bathrooms on an airplane anymore. You go through TSA. You can't even bring a fucking bottle of water after 9/11. What the fuck are you talking about? We put in a shit ton of practical limitations, and we have the freedom to travel in this country. We don't have to show our papers going state to state, but if you're gonna get in an airplane, there's all kinds of rules. What the fuck?
We reinforced the cockpit doors. We doubled down on security in the airports. That is the thing that should have been done after the Columbine tragedy, because unfortunately, that.
Okay, the cockpit door analogy in this situation would be the purchasing of ammunition or extended magazines and that kind of stuff. The double down on security stops the shooter from being able to bring said arms into a specific place. If we do that about the United States in general, is there an idea that somebody could make a fucking soap gun and bring it onto a plane, or make an underwear bomb or something? Is that always a possibility? Yeah. It doesn't stop you from practical solutions.
That set a standard in this nation for madmen. We need to deal with that by making sure our children are taken care of.
You know,
Our yes, it's a mental health issue. It's our kids that are all wrapped up. It's not the guns. It's that our kids are crazy. I mean, we can't stop anybody who's crazy from getting a gun, because then who else? I mean, who at that place would be able to pass the test?
I expect those on the left to come out after us. What I don't expect is for those on the right, honestly, sadly, maybe I do expect some of them to start to back down, especially in Washington. President Trump calls them rhinos, Republicans in name only. What's your message to them?
My message to them is, if this is not the time when you're willing to stand up for the Second Amendment, you were never willing to stand up for the Second Amendment.
Well-regulated militia, fucko. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for an infringement on the ability to bear arms, just on the limitation of what those arms are. If you need more than 3 magazines to return fire in your handgun, you are not engaged in a self-defense exchange. You're a murderer.
These are the tough times when the wise and the strong stand firm on what they believe in and push back against those.
Also, consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, and if you're stupid, you might just continue to think the same dipshittery forever. Maybe it's because you're stubborn and dumb.
False narratives that we're hearing. If we're not willing to push back against false narratives now, we'll never be willing to do it.
Yeah, if the killing of 19 kids can make you rethink your position, do you even really have a permission?
Mark Robinson.
A position, rather?
I appreciate you coming on the program.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
It's nice to be in a place where there are absolutely no loaded guns for at least a block. It's great.
You got it.
Since Trump's going to be here, I got to say, the guy with the rubber glove was surprisingly gentle.